Hi everyone. Welcome back to part 2 of our N400 Have You Ever question series. If you're preparing for your U.S. citizenship test, you know these yes or no N400 questions are one of the most important parts of your naturalization interview. In this video, we'll go through the final 19 questions from Part 9 of the N400 form, the ones we didn't cover in Part 1. These questions help USCIS determine if you meet all the requirements to become a U.S. citizen, especially when it comes to good moral character and following U.S. laws. Just like in Part 1, we'll read each question clearly so you get familiar with them. Remember, honesty is key. Generally, you should answer no to most of these questions, except for the ones related to Selective Service registration for male applicants. And you should answer yes to the questions 31 to 37. If you're ever unsure about what to answer depending on your situation, it's always best to consult an immigration attorney before your interview. Let's get started so you can walk into your N400 interview feeling confident and prepared. Have you ever lied to any U.S. government officials to gain entry or admission into the United States, or to gain immigration benefits while in the United States? Have you ever been placed in removal, rescission, or deportation proceedings? Have you ever been removed or deported from the United States? Questions 22A to 22C are for male applicants only. Are you a male who lived in the United States at any time between your 18th and 26th birthdays? Do not select yes if you were a lawful non-immigrant for all of that time period. If you answered yes to item number 22A, did you register for the Selective Service? If you answered yes to item number 22B, provide information about your registration. Date registered Selective Service number. Now, here's something really important for many of you watching. If you were born male, whether you're a U.S. citizen or an immigrant, and you're between 18 and 25 years old, federal law requires you to register with Selective Service. This applies to nearly all people with those requirements. Here's what you need to know. You might have been registered automatically and not even know it. That's why I always tell people, before you fill out your N400 or go to your interview, do yourself a favor and check www.usscis.gov. The website will instantly tell you your status. Let's keep going with the rest of the questions. Have you ever left the United States to avoid being drafted in the U.S. Armed Forces? Have you ever applied for any kind of exemption from military service in the U.S. Armed Forces? Have you ever served in the U.S. Armed Forces? Questions 26 to 29 are for applicants that have served in the U.S. Armed Forces. Go to question 30 if you haven't served in the U.S. Armed Forces. Are you currently a member of the U.S. Armed Forces? If you answered yes to item number 26A, are you scheduled to deploy outside the United States, including to a vessel, within the next 3 months? If you answered yes to item number 26A, are you currently stationed outside the United States? If you answered no to item number 26A, are you a former U.S. military service member who is currently residing outside of the U.S.? Have you ever been court-martialed or have you received a discharge characterized as other than honorable, bad conduct, or dishonorable while in the U.S. Armed Forces? Have you ever been discharged from training or service in the U.S. Armed Forces because you were an alien? Have you ever deserted from the U.S. Armed Forces? Do you now have, or did you ever have, a hereditary title or an order of nobility in any foreign country? If you answered yes to item number 30A, are you willing to give up any inherited titles or orders of nobility that you have in a foreign country at your naturalization ceremony? Now, pay close attention. For the next set of questions, you must answer yes. The only exception is if you have a physical or developmental disability or a mental impairment that prevents you from taking the oath of allegiance. In that case, you can answer no to question 33. Let's continue. Do you support the Constitution and form of government of the United States? Do you understand the full oath of allegiance to the United States? Are you unable to take the oath of allegiance because of a physical or developmental disability or mental impairment? If you answer yes, skip questions numbers 34 to 37. Are you willing to take the full oath of allegiance to the United States? If the law requires it, are you willing to bear arms, carry weapons on behalf of the United States? If the law requires it, are you willing to perform non-combatant services, do something that does not include fighting in a war, in the U.S. Armed Forces? If the law requires it, are you willing to perform work of national importance under civilian direction, do non-military work that the U.S. government says is important to the country? And that's it. You've now reviewed all 37 Have You Ever questions from the N400 form. Let's quickly recap the key takeaways. Answer no to most questions, unless you have a specific reason to say yes. Male applicants that were in the U.S. between ages 18, 25. Make sure you're registered with Selective Service. Check sss.gov. Answer yes to questions 31, 37. These show your commitment to the U.S. Constitution and oath of allegiance. Always be honest. Your answers must match your N400 application. When in doubt, consult an attorney. Don't risk your citizenship over uncertainty. If you missed Part 1, go back and watch it to cover all your bases. And for more help with your citizenship journey, Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss our future videos. You're doing amazing work on your path to citizenship. Keep going.